Well, good morning, friends. I had a couple of people ask me if I could do kind of an update on how I feed my rabbits, and I'm out first thing in the morning, um, and this is the fun time. This is when most of the rabbits are up and bouncing around. You can hear, especially the little guys. Um, so what I usually do first is I give them their sunflower seeds. Um, they're not the striped, but I think it's the black oil sunflower seeds. And what I do is I go around and I give each one of my adults, I give them 6 sunflower seeds. Most of them will go crazy over them. Some of them will, I'll put them in and they'll eat them at some point with their grain. So anyways, that's what I'm going to do right now. Also, this is a good time to, just do a check. Just a quick overall check. Make sure, everybody's doing okay as you're doing it. Gives me a chance to see, okay, who ate their grain. Just do an overall check, as you're doing this. And then I'll go through and I'll do the graining and then I do the water. It also gives me a chance to make sure that they've drank from the water bottles, depending on which ones have what. So, here. There you go. Okay. Good boy. Smokey. Good boy. Bonnie. Bonnie. Baby. You very happy. Sweetie. Girl. Girl. What are you doing? Baby. Good boy. You done that? Fix that. Baby. Baby girl. Baby. Right after me. What's going on? Good boy. Grooming. Good girl. Even night. Girl. Good baby. Good babies. Good baby. Good baby. I see. What are you doing? What are you doing? Boy. You good boy. Good boy. Okay. So there, that's just a quick what I do there. Like I said, it also gives me a chance just to get a quick overall look at, how everybody's doing. Um, you notice some of these feeders, the grain doesn't sit down quite as well, so I push that down through. Gives you a chance to look at the water bottles, make sure that they have drank over the night. Water is so important for these guys, especially where we're getting into the heat. They've got to drink. My nursing mothers, if they're going to produce milk, they've got to have the water. So then what I usually do is I go down through and I give the grain out depending on, if it's 16% that I'm feeding, which would be just maintenance dose. There's a point after, if like this guy, I'll probably keep him on the 18%. I don't know, another month probably. And then I'll switch him over to the 16. All my bucks get 16. So let me do the 18. Baby. Good baby. These are the ones. These are the ones. The other feeders. Yeah. Guys, what are you doing? What are you doing? Hey, baby. Melania. What are you doing? Come close. Nice one. What are you doing? Girl. Okay. What are you doing, sweetheart? Randy. Good girl. Sugar plum. That's my sugar plum. Oh, you're my good girl, aren't you? You're my good girl. Hey there, guys. What are you doing? What are you doing? Honey? Okay. Midnight. What are you doing? Baby? Baby? Found a girl. Found a girl. Okay, now my 18% is done, and what I use is Blue Seal. Don't quote me on it. Top hutch I think is the 18, and the pro hutch is the 16. So I've done the 18%. That would be for my mother's, even ones that I've weaned, because I'll probably breed them back in 10 weeks. Some of them have been bred back at the 10-week mark. I continue them on the 18% just to help rejuvenate their bodies after having at least 7 babies and not 2 of them 9. So then I go around with the 16%, and on like the yeah, and I didn't give you yours yet. With the 3 that we rescued, they get between half and 3/4 of a cup, and that's depending on how much they eat over the night. I only feed the grain once a day, except for my grow outs. I keep theirs pretty much full. So these guys will get about a half a cup, half 3/4 of a cup. This one ate pretty good. I'll give this one a little bit more. With these rescues, these guys were so malnutritioned when I got them. As I shared in a video they looked awful. It was so sad what I saw when we got those. Now, this little boy, again, he's another rescue. I'm trying to thin him down a little bit. He got a little heavy. Hey, sweetheart, what are you doing? Good boy. Good boy. Max gets up. Pebbles gets about 3/4 of a cup. Me, sweetheart. Good girl. And Minty, because she didn't eat everything, half a cup. Gizmo, what are you doing, sweetie? Good boy. Okay. Right hand. Smoky. Smoky. Boy. You're done. Okay. So it's that easy. I gotta get something. CD. Boy. Yeah. So that's about it on the feeding. Then I go through and I do the watering. Make sure all the water bottles are full. I've got different types of waterers here. I've got the bowls that these little ones have. It's attached to the cage. They're okay. The only thing is, a lot of times they'll get hay in it. I've got Faith will tip hers. Quite often I'll come out and the floor will be wet right here. She'll get underneath it and lift it up. But water, I just can't stress enough how important water is for these guys. Do not let your rabbits run out of water. With my grow outs, I use, once the mother has her kids, this is the type of water bottle I go. I 32 ounce. They're bigger. They hold a little bit more than what the normal bottles go. And I mean, this was filled last night. So, anyways, fill this up. I've got a 55-gallon plastic drum that I use to hold my water. I may end up putting a second one on top of it because I have to drop from the house, so I'll run a hose. I don't mind so much during the summer, but during the winter months when you're down 10, 15 degrees, even 0 degrees, it means I got to thaw my hose out, which normally I keep it in here, and string it out, bring it up, fill that up, and then drain it and go again. So anyways, I like to have that full. I want to put another one in just so it gives me, if I can get through 2 weeks, during a 2 weeks period, normally I've got a warm enough day that I can do it. It's quite a ways to the house. I think I'm using a 75-foot hose. Pretty sure it's 75-foot. And it's a commercial hose, so it's stiff. It's not. Anyways, you're good for now. Good. Now the other thing during this time of year, with the sun, you got to watch for algae. It's gotten so usually once a week I have to bring these bottles in and wash them. So what I do is I have replacement bottles. Nipples are the things I'm lacking, but I'll take the bottle. I'll switch these out. I'll bring them in. They'll get washed. They've already You know what I mean? So I've got extras on hand so I can do that with. Sweeties. Babies. Sweetie. Boy. Baby. Wow, that's not a whole lot of water for morning time. But we spent quite a bit of time out here last night. It was a little bit later than normal. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much my morning. You know, my next thing will be tend to the chickens, uh, and then I'll do my rabbit tray cleanings. And then usually noontime, I'll come back out before I go in for lunch and just do a check. I'll fill all the water bottles, ones that I didn't fill now. They're only down that much. I don't fill them up in the morning. But noontime, like I said, I'll do another check. And then I fill the hay balls. Um, and then off and on during the day, of course, I'll be working around here today. So, I'll be able to check on them. Um, I know I want to do an eye check today. I've got some that are 7 and 10 week old babies. I want to make sure their eyes are open. That's something. Sugar's last litter. I had two. I caught early nest box eye, and I probably didn't have to do it, and I forgot what the solution is that we use. I think there's coconut oil that's involved in it. Maybe a time that I do that, I'll do that on an update too, because that is something if you're gonna raise rabbits, you're probably gonna have that problem. And what it is the dust in the hay or whatever you're using for nesting material. Um, so, anyways, this is what I do in my morning when I clean. Like I said, one of the main things is just doing an overall check. When I do the sunflower seeds, that's more of a treat for them. But there is things in the sunflower seeds, and what I've been told is do not go over 6. So I do an overall check, and then I do my grain. Um, and Leanne and I have been talking. I might even on the card, just in case, something happens to one of us and I have to have somebody tend the rabbits for a day or two, to have how much that I give them, whether it's a half cup, 3/4 of a cup, full cup. whether it's a 16 or 18%. Now, you might have looked. I've got two pails there. Uh, how do you know which is which? Well, the top pail did something stupid. When I was putting the insulation up early winter, I was standing on the pail. I wasn't quite tall enough to reach where I was going, and I went through the pail. So that one I know is my 18%. The other one on the bottom, that's the 16. So that's how I keep track of that. Now, if Leanna came out because she doesn't do the grading, she wouldn't know. So I really had to write 18% or just so somebody would. But anyways, thanks for watching. Hope this was, I don't know, it really wasn't educational. I guess you get to laugh at me. Anyways, thanks so much, guys. Love you. God bless you.